Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you are all doing well this beautiful summer evening. This is our live stream for The Parent Trap. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my screen so you can see me a bit better on camera. This is our live stream of Monday Movie Club, where we're talking about our latest film as a club, The Parent Trap. We look forward to hearing all of those who are watching right now in the discussions, as well as hosting a discussion that you may be having at home tonight as well. Feel free to jump onto the live chat whenever you would like when we're answering our questions to let us know your insights and feedback of the film. This was a really nice one for me to go back to my old kid roots, but to also look at a not necessarily a classic in some eyes, but definitely a fan favorite for some. So I hope you enjoyed watching The Parent Trap this week and looking forward to this. This is our season finale of Monday Movie Club. I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to kind of categorize tonight, and I was talking over with my husband, and he was just like, well, it's like the end of season one since you're planning on restarting in the fall anyway. And so I really enjoyed so I'm marking this as our season one finale of Monday Movie Club and we are renewed for a second season if we're continuing with that theme. And so we will be coming back in the fall with that. But looking forward to tonight's chat as we end things off for this first time round. Thank you so much for all of you who've been watching and taking part, seeing a few of you coming in and letting us know what your favorite outdoor activity is, a few repeats and fan favorites. For me, my favorite outdoor activity is roasting marshmallows, specifically for s'mores. My family was a big camping family. We did road trips and went up to a family campground every summer for multiple weeks, and we go weekend camping and things along those lines. So it was really good. We even later on in my teenage years got a tent trailer, one of those pop-up trailers, so we weren't sleeping on the ground anymore. So yeah, but one of my favorite activities is roasting marshmallows. And then when I was about a preteen, my godmother actually introduced us to the idea of s'mores, and not just s'mores, but luxurious s'mores. So, for those who don't know, s'more is a roasted marshmallow and chocolate on two graham crackers, and you smush them together like a beautiful sandwich, and you eat them, and it's just luxurious and stuff. But you can have some really interesting combinations. So, one thing that we do as a family is that we take caramel bars instead of regular chocolate. So it's marshmallow, chocolate, and caramel s'mores. Um, and so, yeah, so that's where that's at. Um, I'm seeing there's a little bit of technical difficulties in chat. I don't quite know how to fix. Some people are having problems viewing other people's chats. I don't know quite how to fix that, unfortunately. So maybe it's just a sign in, sign back out type of issue, or I hope you guys are able to troubleshoot that as best we can. So yeah, so that's my favorite activity is roasting marshmallows and doing that thing. But lots of swimmers here, which I also love swimming as well. Also just like being in a pool on a floaty and just floating around for a while. That's also good fun too. So as we get started today, hope you guys enjoy some of those outdoor activities as we go along our summer. It is only middle of July. We still have quite amount of time left of summer left to enjoy our times together. So, as a reminder of our guidelines as we wrap up our season is to share about Movie Club. Let your friends and family and other people know what we've been doing in Movie Club, what you've liked about it, what we've talked about, what movies you've watched that you've maybe never seen before. Feel free to share your experience with others. Participate in Movie Club, not only with this live stream, but also with the social media posts and the live and the home discussions with our image postings. Thank you so much for participating in all that. And as well, I just want to thank you all for continuing to being kind and loving to one another, especially when we move things on to cyberspace or digital platforms, and especially things like live chat. It's so easy for people to let down their guards and to be not as considerate as they would be if they were in person. And so I just want to thank you. Thank you for continuing to love each other and be kind to one another in live chat, as well as outside of live chat throughout this whole entire season. You have been an inspiring and wonderful community to one another. And so thank you for that and continuing to be that way for others. So, as we move for our first one, so I know we've just talked a little bit about camping and other outdoor activities, but I wanted to ask, what was the snack that you got to take part in for this week's Monday movie? When you were watching Parent Trap, what was the snack that you had? I honestly don't remember. So I actually brought a snack for tonight, which I'm going to have after this, which is brownies that I made a couple days ago. So I will be having a brownie later, but I actually don't remember what I had for a snack for the movie. Maybe just popcorn. We've been having popcorn just at our house. So it's been really, really good. Deerfield, nachos and cheese. Ooh, that sounds wonderful. And you're eating Ruffles? Oh, I can't wait. Um, and then pizza with Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Um, yeah, those are great options. Absolutely. Wonderful. I'm glad you guys all got to enjoy some wonderful snacks and ways to treat yourself over this season and over just the weeks to come. So I'm glad that you're able to do this. I hope we get Amy back in regards to live chat here. If not, maybe someone can uh, maybe put some things in. But hopefully we can get her back soon. I don't quite know why that is happening. Just gonna see. Anyway, hopefully that is resolved shortly. One thing about going digital is that there's always some sort of technical difficulties. So thank you all for being patient with us as we figure this stuff out. As our first question of the night, I wanted to say we start the movie off with these two people who met via camp, going to a sleepaway camp and having a wonderful adventure. And so, what I want to do is, we have some celebratory happening in live chat. Welcome back, Amy. I wanted to ask, what is a highlight camp experience for you? Or if you've never been camping before, what's something that you really wish you could do um, in as a camp experience? Amy, camped with my youth group and having all night Uno competitions. That looks like so much fun. Um, it's interesting how when you go camping, you can have some really interesting experiences like that. Um, Swimming in the canal, yeah, for sure. Staying up late around the campfire, singing songs and chatting. The campfire is always a highlight for me. I always really appreciate the campfire experience. Um, I wish kind of was in an area where I could have like a fire pit in my backyard. I know some people who live in more rural areas of Canada get to have those types of experiences, or smaller towns, or have bigger properties, and I'm always a little jealous over them because they can get a campfire whenever they want. Um, so that's one thing I really like. Uh, I One of my favorite camp experiences um, actually took place in the same place where Nancy's did at Fairhavens, and what we would always do is every Friday they had like a fireworks show. And I know there's a lot of camp groups that do fireworks on special occasions like Victoria Day and Memorial Day and the Civic Holiday and things along those lines. Um, that's always been kind of my favorite experience are the fireworks at camp shows because then you could just stay there. You bring your sleeping bag and you sit on the lawn and you just watch all night. It was one of my favorite experiences. And then later when I got to work up at that camp, um, I got to actually light the fireworks there, so that was quite a nice little um, kind of pay it forward experience for me. It was really good. Um, I've also really liked when I was really little, just the playgrounds. I felt like playgrounds at campgrounds were so much better than just regular playgrounds, and I think it's just the nostalgic of camping, um, or even just being able to have access to a beach. Just the things that you usually wouldn't be able to take part in. Um, yeah, so those are the things that I really like about the camping experience. Thanks for sharing all of your insights. I hope those bring back some good memories or have you looking forward to some things over the summer as some places are slowly opening up. So, moving on to our next question. What are some fears? What fears, let me rephrase that. What fears did Hallie and Annie have about meeting their parents? So, when the two of them finally meet and figure out that they're not only related but they're twins, um, they decide to miss, they decide to switch. And so, and we get to kind of see them as these preteens. I mean, they were 12, 11, 12, uh, really experiencing some really real emotions in regards to meeting their other parent. And so, what were some fears that they had, or what were some emotions that they had about meeting their parents? Worrying if they'd be liked or the swap would be noticed. Yeah, good insight there, Deerfield. Um, weren't good enough. Afraid that their parents wouldn't love them for them. Uh, for so that the parents won't remember them. Absolutely. Welcome, Tammy. Uh, did they become enough now? Great insights. Absolutely. Yeah, we just see them really kind of going through a grief process, but also a joy process. It's really interesting to see the amount of feelings. They were so happy, but sometimes it was like, oh, you're not like how I thought you would be, or you're better than I thought you would be, or and so the kind of like that reality hits expectation moment um, was really well done. I really appreciated that about the movie, how they were really kind of honest about the emotions behind that kind of experience. I'm surprised that neither of the girls caved about being like, I'm actually not Hallie or I'm actually not Annie. That they kept it up for as long as they did. Um, so yeah, so just because if it were me, I would have just been like, "This is so great! I'm not who you think I am. I'm actually your other kid." Like I would be, um, I would be like overly honest because I wouldn't want to, because I just have too much emotion. Uh, so yeah, but awesome. Thank you for sharing your insights. It's great. So how did Annie and Hallie treat their potential stepmom? Since, as we know, again, for those who may not watch it, we talk openly about movies, so spoiler alert in effect. Um, the dad did not marry the new woman, Meredith. So how did they treat their stepmom? And then also, how did they treat their parents during the movie? I'll read some of these insights as more come in. Hated the stepmom and were super excited to see their parents. Absolutely. It's fair. Total brats to her. Yeah, I would say they were acting out in some revenge tactics. Uh, made her life miserable. I think they were very sweet and kind to their parents. pretty poorly towards their stepmom. Their stepmom was a horrible person, though. Yeah, she wasn't great. She wasn't the most fantastic example in the world to them. And I think it makes it easier for us as watchers when the step parent isn't a good person. It's easier for us to watch and hope for the parents to get back together. Um, I would argue, though, that they weren't always very kind to their parents. You know, that they're lying about their identities. They trick them into visiting this place in California. Um, and then when they finally get outed and it's time for them to go home, they pull the whole switcheroo thing and going, well, you can't tell which one's who, so I guess we're all going to have to go on the camping trip. And a bit manipulative, too. Yeah, they were a bit manipulative, too, I guess. So it's just like they were sweet and loving and loved their parents, but also like very determined to do whatever it took um, to in order to get what they wanted. Um, and so it's interesting that their behavior both with both sets, the stepmom and their parents, um, though the motivations were different, right? Like they wanted a complete family. They loved their parents. They could see their parents missed each other. Those are kind of honorable and good things to want. Um, but we can kind of see their behavior as kind of similar to the hatred and dislike and kind of hostile behavior that they work towards Meredith, the stepmom. Now, the stepmom deserved it. The stepmom almost from the get-go made herself out to be the enemy. She was not there to appease Hallie or be a family with Hallie. She was just all about being with the dad, Nick, I think, Nick. Um, so yeah, so it's interesting to see how the behavior is similar, even though the motivation is quite different. Um, yeah, thank you for. Uh, yeah, a lot of different pranks for the stepmom. This was definitely a prank movie. Like lots of pranks at the camp, and pranks on stepmom, and pranks on parents, and all this other stuff. It was quite uh, better than some of the prank shows that we see on some of our media now, I would say. And kind of our final question of the night, what does honoring someone look like? So when we think of honoring a person, what does that look like? Or what would be an example of honoring someone? Sorry, I'm smiling because I'm reading Deerfield's comment. There wasn't really a proper structure to the story, though, which kind of threw me off. Yeah, it was kind of, when you thought about the structure, as people were thinking about this question, when you kind of think about the movie itself, um, compared to some of the other films that we've seen, which followed a very, like, good series of events and things like that, um, this one seemed a bit looser in structure. Um, Maybe not as well thought out uh, as some of the other ones. I mean, they were going off of the original 1961, which I wanted to ask if anyone did do the bonus challenge of watching both the original from 1961 and this one. I'd love to get your opinions on that. Leave it down in the comments below if you have it, if you're not part of today, or let us know what you think. Uh, but yeah, it was definitely less structured and less, maybe not as deeply layered as maybe some of the other films that we've seen. Let me read some of these other insights. But great criticism, great critical thinking there, Deerfield. Thank you for letting us in on that insight. Honoring someone, appreciating their actions or thanking them. Yes, thank you, Tammy. That's an amazing way to honor someone. Treat someone with respect. With Nancy, obeying them even if they aren't doing what we want them to do. Yeah, that's a tough one. Uh, Even if we think we know what's best, respecting them anyway, especially parents. Yeah, the obeying even when we don't agree or it's not what we wanted is a tough one for all of us. It's a tough thing for all of us uh, to submit ourselves to. It's a rough one. Being responsible for your own actions. Yeah, lifting them up for what they've done or who they are. Yeah, yeah. When we talk about honoring someone, it is a lot about respect, and similar to not really a proper structure to the movie. Uh, there were a lot of themes about family and what family looks like, but I was really struck by the idea of like honoring parents because we know in the Bible that God talks about what does it mean to honor parents, um, and that we should be honoring parents as children, and that doesn't stop when we're adults. Us adults who have adult parents are still called to honor them, and so what that can look like, especially if a parent doesn't agree with what we agree with, it can be a challenge. And so, what can that look like? And so, I wanted to kind of touch on that today about what the Bible says about the relationship between children and parents. Um, and this is what Paul in the book of Ephesians writes: Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. I was really struck, as kind of my final thought for this movie, about this idea of parents and children. We see in the Ten Commandments, as our home discussions looked at, that one of the Ten Commandments is to honor your mother and father, and which is quoted here by Paul, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. But we also see in Scripture, both Old Testament and New, that parents are also held to a standard to not exasperate or I'm just going to quickly exasperate, define. Here you go. Now you're in the behind the scenes. Intensely irritate or frustrate. That's what exasperate means. Us as parents, we are commanded by God and we're told not to irritate our children. Now, does children not getting what they want irritate them? Absolutely. Does it frustrate us? Yes. But it's not necessarily that the children are supposed to get exactly what they want. Parents are supposed to bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. And children are to obey their parents. But it is a relationship that goes both ways, right? Similar to many of the other commands where it says loving one another. If children love their parents, if they honor their parents, if they show respect to their parents, then the parents are also responsible for training and instruction, for loving them, for respecting them, and it's a free working relationship. And all of us have to figure out what that looks like. All of our families, no matter where we are on this live stream or sitting at home, watching this on a day or watching this today, have experienced different things within our families. We may have both parents at home, one parent at home. We may have a stepmom or a stepdad, hopefully not as bad as Meredith. We may have a great relationship and get along great with our parents. We may not communicate well with our parents, but we're all still told to do that. We're all still told to obey our parents and to honor your mother and father. And so I wanted to encourage us all, since all of us are children, that we are to extend this love to one another. And especially since we've just finished this season of COVID where we've been shut at home, we need to consider the fact that all of us are feeling maybe a little burnt out from each other. My hope is that Monday Movie Club this season has helped your families find common ground, moments of joy, and just a little bit of refreshing and release together. Within this community, within your own homes, with your parents or with your kids. And so I hope it's brought some healing. But I want to encourage you this summer, as weather gets better and things start to reopen, please don't forget the wonderful time you've spent with one another. To all of us children who are called to obey our parents, we are also told to obey God the Father. He is our Father. So we all know what obeying God looks like. So I want to encourage all of us as children, let's take some time to honor, respect, show appreciation, love, just obey, show gratitude, be gentle with our children. And for some of us who have kids, our parents on the group, our youth leaders who deal with young people, those who are watching who may be teachers or older sisters or siblings, or maybe even you young people take care of younger kids or things along those lines, understand that they sometimes feel like frustration and irritation even when they think they know what's right, but really they don't. Or maybe they don't know the whole picture like the older ones in the group do. So know that your parents are doing their best on training and instructing you of the Lord. Know that your leaders are doing the best in spending time with you and doing training and instruction with you. Your teachers, your neighbors, the adults in your life. And so my hope is that after all of this with Movie Club and continuing on with the summer, that we can all be a little bit gracious and gentle and allow ourselves to feel our feelings of frustration, but know that it's not personal. We don't mean it, especially when we're trying to do this. So I hope that this has been a great movie for you. If not anything, maybe not great structured, as Deerfield said, but maybe just a little light comedy for the family as you look forward to the summer and all the different outdoor activities and things that you could do. And so I hope you really enjoy that. My final announcements as we end off our season 1 finale. I have a special announcement this week. This Wednesday, our team at Doxa is hosting our first ever July gathering. So especially because we're still all doing this online, we have extended one more gathering over the summer. So feel free to go on to Doxa Toronto on YouTube on Wednesday, July 15th. So that's 2 days from now. Same time, 7:30, and we'll be having our kind of best of the best, bit of a not so long gathering. Now there is no after party with this because we know many of you are out doing cottages. The weather's still great. You might want to go out, roast some marshmallows, doing whatever you would like to do before the sun goes down. So it is just the gathering this week. There's no Zoom after party afterwards. So feel free. Everybody is welcome. I just wanted to share this tidbit as I announce this. So if you're wondering, how do I know if I'm on Doxa Toronto's YouTube? Well, if you just go to YouTube and you type in Doxa Toronto and look for our channel, this is what our channel looks like. So you will see our banner at the top and our wonderful number of subscribers there. We are mighty but few, with all of our videos, including our graduation class appreciation video up there, our uploads. If you'd like to watch past gatherings, we have them up at the top here, as well as you may see our whole playlist of season 1 of Monday Movie Club is viewable off of the Doxa Toronto site. So if you want to share this with friends so they can participate in season 2, feel free to let them know that they can watch any of our last season of Monday Movie Club on this playlist. It is also available on this YouTube channel, my work channel, Sue Bannock, so you can take a look there as well. But just wanted to let you know that those are going to be there. So the gathering is going to be, for those who may not know, we're going to have a time of games together via live chat like this, some worship, and then we'll be having a special panel speaker series where we have a couple people chosen to talk about our theme of living your best life. So we hope you guys can take part in that this week. It would be really great to see as many of you there as possible. So as we end off tonight, I just want to say thank you. Just a reminder, thank you so much for everybody who participated in our feedback form and everything that has in store for that. Just being part of all that. If you have not given your feedback and would like to, I'm just going to now, I can't now. In the comments below, I will post, maybe I won't do that in the comments below. After this, I will be, sorry, it's just that my web browser with that link just signed me out. So after this, in the live chat, I will be putting in the link to our feedback form. So if you haven't yet given your feedback and you would like to, please feel free to do that. Later on this summer, I'll be, in the weeks to come, I'll be taking a look and making some evaluations before we relaunch for season 2 in the fall. So please feel free to give us your feedback. We really appreciate it for that. And that is it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, for being a part of this season, for taking part in the live chats, for sticking with me through all the technical difficulties with YouTube and the streaming and everything in regards to that. And just again, for being such a loving and wonderful community. Feel free, enjoy the summer, enjoy time with those that you care for. I'm praying for each and every one of you. Know that I pray for your safety as you stay safe within homes and slowly reopening, that you stay healthy as best as you can be, and that God blesses you in this season of summer as we look forward to what God has ahead for our various different areas of influence. I pray that all of you are doing well and that you enjoy your time. And thank you so much for being a part of Monday Movie Club. Feel free to continue to watch movies as families. Continue to look through films with your lens of faith, seeing what films are talking about and what the Bible actually says about those things. And let us know things that you've learned using our Monday Movie Club hashtag. Thank you so much again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you all in the fall.